Now this week I'm going to talk about editing. This is one of the questions I get asked a lot about. What apps do I use, what software, or how can I find an editor? So in this training today I go through the options where you can outsource your editing at a very cost-effective rate. Let's talk editing. This is actually a screenshot of an editing program called Premiere Pro, and as you can see, editing can actually be very complicated. Not only can it be complicated in terms of learning the piece of software, it is also very time consuming. So much so it can be really frustrating. My advice is to outsource the editing. Just for an example, when I do my professional videos, if we do 1 day of filming, I would allow between 3 and 4 days in post-production. Now obviously it does depend a bit on the complexity of the video and what we're doing, but ultimately it is very time consuming, and I'm going to argue that as a business owner it is not worth your time and effort, because you should be concentrating on what you're good at. Unless you happen to be a video production company, then maybe you can edit, but ultimately it is a skill level which takes time to learn, and therefore maybe you should outsource, definitely outsource, and that is the topic for today, because we're going to look at outsource your editing and what the options are. Okay, now the first one is if you want to do local, you could find a local professional video editor. I use these a lot for my client work. They're called freelancers. And here in the UK, or London particularly, they charge about $350 per day. Probably in the States that is the equivalent of $500. The rate will vary depending on, I guess, where you are in the world and different locations. So if you're looking at hiring a local freelancer for a particular edit, make sure you get a quote for the actual project. Good editors or freelancers should, if they get sort of an understanding of what you're trying to achieve and the footage you have, they should be able to give you an estimated for the project. They tend not to charge per hour, so the minimum will be about £350 for the project, if not higher. The advantage of having a local editor, of course, is that you can probably go to their office if they have one, or they can come to you. So you can actually sit down with them, go for the footage, and you can actually watch them edit. Just a side note, most editors don't particularly like clients looking over their shoulder. Okay, so it'll probably slow you down, and you'll probably be charged more as well, because it'll take longer. You could go to find a video production company, but you'll probably charge more. And because video production companies like my one, we use a lot of freelancers and we pay them $350 a day. So as a business, obviously I'm going to charge more. I would just be wary that if you're using freelancers local, make sure you get a project rate. Now, if you don't have 350 quid, not wanting to spend that and wanting to find a more cost-effective option, then we should really need to go online. And there are loads of options online for you. You can go to websites like Upwork.com. I'm sure you've heard of that. That's basically, there's a lot of freelancers. You will find freelancers who are global, who will probably charge you around $350 a day, or thereabouts. There are other what I call bid sites. There's one here in the UK called Bitvine. Now both these sites, basically you choose what service you want, you upload a brief, potentially maybe what you want to spend, and then you get professionals or freelancers. They come back to you and say, I'll do this project for X amount, and then you make a decision from there who you want to use. You've got other sites like Fiverr.com. You might be familiar with this, where you basically, again, you put in what service you want, and up comes a load of literally hundreds, if not thousands, of people who can do this for you, and then you have to basically sift through them and choose one. There's another website called Bidshop. This is a video editing only website where you can, that's all they do. They just do video edits and they charge different pricing for that, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. Or you can outsource to what we call VA services. In the Philippines, for example, I have a VA who's based in the Philippines. You can find them on there's a website called onlinejobs.ph, or there are other businesses and companies that will actually help you, find a VA. This is Upwork. What you can do here, you can basically type in or have a look at what services you need. Click on video production and basically just go through these menus of what you're looking for and ask lots of questions. If you're just looking for one-off projects, basically draw through these levels, okay? And then you basically have to sign up for the service. You post a brief, possibly what kind of budget and timescale, and then you wait for people to come back to you. That one is Bitvine. This is a UK site. You can type in video editing. You can basically type in where let's do my work address. And they're saying there are 1,730 editors near me. Okay, and then again they'll ask you a few questions again about what you're trying to achieve, and once you post you wait for responses. Then one is like Fiverr. Again, here I've just typed in video editing, and there are loads of responses, okay, varying from prices, starting from £8.13. So it's called Fiverr because originally it was like $5, but obviously over time the price has gone up. I've used Fiverr before for things like some graphics, some motion graphics, some logo design, and pretty much it's a bit hit and miss, I must admit, but it is really cost effective. And my advice for Fiverr is, if you've got some time, is to try. Find someone, look at their work, look at the ratings, and then commission them. The prices generally quoted here obviously aren't, so you're not likely to get an edit for £4. You're probably likely that will probably depend on a certain amount of time, how much material, and if you want things like music or any graphics and things like that. So put the brief in, you'll get a quote back, and then commission the user, and then see how it goes. If the results aren't quite what you want, then find someone else. I mean, you do sort of get what you pay for. That's all I can say. If you want a more dedicated service, there's one here called Bidshop. They're based in the States, but I suspect they also outsource their work. I have used them before. The advantages of using a service like this is that you actually get a dedicated account handler, and all they do is offering video editing services, and you can try them out, which is what I recommend. Try them out for $119 for one edit, but it's really, these guys are really aimed at if you're doing regular multiple videos. So if you're looking at doing at least 4 videos a month, that would be looking at their monthly program at $325, and if you want to do more than 4, then they have an unlimited one for $595. Again, you could look at hiring like a VA, a virtual worker in the Philippines. Again, there's plenty of choices. Disadvantage here is you have to find the person, so you're going to have to interview them, give them the brief, look at their work, and ultimately on this site particularly they're looking for more regular work. So it would be probably cheaper than someone like Bidshop or a local freelancer, but my experience, they're looking for like part-time work or a certain number of hours per month. I have an editor I use in the Philippines. He does actually work a full-time job, and he does editing for me in his spare time. He's really cost-effective. He's good. The only thing for using something like this, I just have to be basically organized and not in a hurry to get the edits. So if you're in a hurry to get the edits, you might have to go to more of a local editor. If you're planning and got some time, then you can outsource overseas. I'll post the links in the comments below so you can check out all the editing services that I recommend. Let me know how you get on with them, and I shall see you in next week's training.